just tough seeing Cleveland, dude.
Oh, tough seeing Cleveland. We are back here. Mr. CJ Gunn.
It's good to be back.
We're going to talk some shit here,
yes,
buddy.
That's why I'm here.
I want to start off, right, we'll get into the whole story here in a second. I want to start right off the bat, though. I wake up this morning to, you post up Joey Ramones, one of his new songs off his album.
That's right.
And you've always been a big supporter of the Ramones. You have a long relationship with them, especially Marky. Obviously, Dee Dee is a huge influence on you.
And a nightmare, pain in the ass.
And a nightmare, right. I gotta say, this Mickey Lee guy needs to be stopped.
Oh, yeah, it's ridiculous.
He is Joey's brother.
Yes.
Never did anything. No one knows who he is. Who cares? But once Joey dies, he's in control of Joey's estate. Well, at least it doesn't.
They had to wait for the mom to die.
Oh, okay, to wait for the mom to die?
Yeah, then he could have full control. Till then, he just worked for his brother's share of Ramones Productions. The mother owned it. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, all right. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And but so now he has kind of control of the stuff.
He's got 50% of it. Yeah.
He's putting out this album. Does Lisa Marie have any control over like the estate? Or, like I know.
Yeah, she has some stuff to do with like the merchandising rights. You know, so does like Rob Zombie, but they're more shareholders and just fans that are in it for the good of it.
Right, right.
You know, with Johnny's wife Linda.
And definitely, I've been reading Johnny's book,
Great.
Commando, amazing book.
Yeah.
And he definitely has a lot of good things to say about Rob Zombie.
And not so many good things to say about Mickey.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. You know, and obviously Johnny Ramone was the one in that. He kept all the bullshit out of that band for all those years.
Right.
You know, a lot of these personalities and these people that when he was in control, they were kept under because it's Johnny Ramone is just, I think when it comes to rock and roll, one of the best taskmasters, one of the most about the business kind of guys there is.
Yeah.
But now that he's gone, this Mickey Lee can really run free to just destroy everything.
The thing with Mickey, if people don't know or realize, is that Mickey always felt that he was the one that was supposed to get famous and get signed. And he always felt that he should have been credited on Ramones albums. You know, even when he was helping them out in the very early days of the Ramones, you know, he only did it to see his name credited on the back. And when it wasn't credited on the back of an album, he rose holy hell with them to the point where he sued his own brother.
Right.
You know? And all these years, he tried to do something musically with his brother Joey, and Joey wanted nothing to do with it for the obvious reasons.
Right, because why are you, when you have talent, you're doing your own thing, were you going to bring, just because you're your brother doesn't mean you want them involved in your business.
Yeah.
Rock and Roll Albino has nothing to do with Tough Scene Cleveland at all. He's suing us, but...
So, you know, fast forward to 2012, and the, quote, second Joey Ramone album, you know, people don't know that this wasn't stuff Joey was working on at his death date.
Right.
That's already come and gone on the Don't Worry About Me CD. This is
a phenomenal CD.
Yeah.
That was, you know, especially coming after that, was such a great just way to say goodbye to Joey. It was just his voice is just top notch, great songs.
And done with the right people. Marky, Daniel Ray, you know, the people that were the Ramones. For those of you who don't know, Daniel Ray, longtime Ramones producer, songwriter, and studio session player.
Right.
But no, these are demos from the early 80s, mid 80s that Joey did for shits and giggles with his friends, that he had no intentions of the public ever hearing, that his brother, now in the last 10 years, he went to these people that had these recordings, these 4-track cassette recordings, and he strong-armed them out of them. Legally through lawsuits.
Right, like hey, this is my brother's estate. You can't have this. I'm gonna put it.
And that's exactly what he did. Wow. So he took all those cassettes and he went to his Magical Pro Tools and some people and producers, and they redubbed all the instruments. They had they asked Marky to do it, and Marky told me, he said no way.
When Marky has a sense, and Marky's like, no, that's a bad idea.
Well, Marky's out there leaving his own stain on the Ramones legacy.
Right.
But so they got Richie Ramone to do it, which I as a Ramones fan, I think Richie Ramone is just the most bottom barrel Ramone out there.
Right.
You know, he quit on the Ramones. No other Ramone ever quit. Tommy left, but that was Tommy.
Right, right.
You know, and CJ Ramone put up with the most, and he never quit on them.
And they treated him.
Well, they did, but they didn't.
He was a kid. I mean, I'm sure he got taken care of, but he was a kid. He got the ripping on and the, you know, just like anyone.
He caused them a lot of trouble.
Right, right.
And so, yeah, this is what Mickey's done. He's gathered up these recordings from 20, 25 years ago, and he's documented them up because he's always wanted to play guitar with his brother. So now he's got his chance to play all the guitar he wants. And so that's what you get. You get 15, 17 songs that sound like overdone demos.
God, Dave Perry, I hope I don't die. Dave Muzzlecock is going to just put up so many Nick Wolf Band albums.
He's just going to have a hologram for you.
It's going to be like, you think Mickey Lee might do the hologram Joey, like the hologram Tupac thing, if he could?
If he could, he would.
Dude, I think that's actually, like, I saw something, I don't know if it was a joke, but on House of Blues online, they had, like, this huge fucking list of all these dead artists that are going to be holograms.
That's going to be it shows how messed up our world is, but that's what it's going to be. There's going to be Michael Jackson hologram next year. It's going to change. People are going to be going nuts for it.
They're going to start doing that with people that aren't even dead yet. You don't have to pay them.
Isn't there a Fullmoon Renegades hologram show coming up?
We could have had Axl Rose at the Rock Hall.
They should have just done that, yeah. Like, screw you, Axl. Hologram Axl's way cooler than you.
He's cheaper, too.
Right.
I heard it was a toss-up betwing Miles Kennedy and Michael Graves.
I gotta be honest, I'm not even here right now. This is a computer program with my voice tracked into it to respond. So yeah, I was really disappointed by that, and I don't think you should put that out. I just don't like it. So how have you been, man?
Busy.
I know right now you're kind of Holly, your female companion, is gone for.
She's out of here
for a while. So are we in for some trouble here? You trying to be good?
I have all the freedom in the world this weekend, and I find myself doing absolutely nothing. Yeah, it's kind of boring.
I see the cats just roaming the neighborhood free.
Yeah.
It's all hell breaking loose.
Tom's bike's in the yard. No, I've been busy finishing this CD, getting everything done for these 2 shows coming up in May. Focusing on that. And
May 5th is the big birthday show, right? And the CD release?
Yep, that's at the 5 in Lakewood, which is a great place to play. And May 4th, I am at the Stone Tavern.
Ken people, because we play Checkers and Trophies, like, why the hell are you playing here? Like,
yeah.
The Stone's definitely a place to play in Kent now.
That's great, yeah.
So I heard it's a really good place. Let's talk about the 5 o'clock for a second, though.
Sure.
I saw you last time you played there. Bob Carpenter filled in on bass.
Yeah.
They came down and checked out the show. And we get there, and Tim Spock... He just... All I know is there's some uproar. Everything's going fine. All of a sudden, Aaron Dowell from my band, also CJ Exceptions, legendary Cleveland guitarist, legendary pain in the ass, too. Just like, dude... The band said we're playing first. What? This Tim is an idiot. I talked to CJ. He's pissed. We're leaving.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
dude,
we brought friends to see you guys. Like, you guys have a pretty good crowd here tonight. Better than Tim's ever. Like, this is probably the best show Tim's ever booked, despite his stupidity. So he comes over to me. He's like, dude, CJ's gonna be here in a minute. Can you please talk to him for me? And I just started laughing. I was like, dude, he's drunk. I gotta smell the booze coming off his breath. And I was like, dude, I've known CJ for a long time, and there's not one thing I can say that's gonna help you out. I will sit here and watch him yell at you, and I will laugh. I can promise you that. So you come in, and you're pretty pissed at him.
Let me set the story a little bit, too. You know, we did this show because Tim needed an opening band. I says, all right, I will do it, but I don't want him to get stuck playing last. First is fine, whatever. And when it came to the show date, both myself and my drummer, Jerry, were like fucking dying with the flu. I mean, we were just beyond sick. And oddly enough, I had missed the Dead Ender show like 2 months ago because I was fucking flu-ridden that time, too. So I says to Tim, I says, I just want to get in. I want to do the set, and I don't want no bullshit. He reassured me it's all going to be peaches and cream, right? Well, it wasn't peaches.
CJ, you know me, man. Everything'll be great.
Trust me, he says. Well,
but everything was solved. The band took their gear down. You guys got on stage.
And Davey Republican,
Davey Porter and the New Bohemians.
Yeah, you know, they were cool about it because if it would have been me that someone like me came up to and spoke to like that, I would have punched the guy.
Right.
You know, but you know, I flew in there with a chip on my shoulder and a bug up my ass, and they were cool. They were because they had all their stuff set up.
I've been friends for you for a while, and I knew the rumblings. I knew, like, he's going to be pissed. Hurricane CJ. But you guys put on a great show.
Yeah, that was a great
It turned
night.
out good.
Yeah, that was fun.
I think Tim made it through the whole show without passing out.
Oh, no, I don't know. I don't know.
But, so that's kind of stuff you have to deal with. But, so you're going back there again into the 5th for the CD release.
Yes.
But that's just like... Is Tim got some good bands for you guys?
Well, you know, actually, it was Tim and my idea to do this. Well, no, actually, it was my idea because it's my birthday,
right?
You know, And we did it last year. Also, we did it at the Spitfire last year. It's like our first show, so it's like second annual birthday show for myself. And I did ask Tim to help out and do some things, and I think he's gonna provide tacos.
Oh, here we go.
Nice. He's got a taco bar, and he tried to find some bands, but it didn't.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, you're playing right with your G.G. Allen cover band." I was like, "How out of your mind are you? I've never once even thought about doing that. You're just making up bands. Like, yeah, we got Nick Wolf doing something. Like, he just picks a name out of a hat and what they're playing, and that's a band now."
He wanted to find a band to add to the bill, but he just couldn't come up with anything in time, and I had to get promo rolling. I had to start pushing the show.
So who are you playing with then?
It's Radio Silence.
Okay, Radio Silence, good band. They've been on Tough Scene before. Good guys, Justin, Steve. That's great. Last weekend was the big Rock and Hall thing. All that stuff was going on, right? Was it last weekend?
Yeah,
2 weeks ago?
yeah.
And you went down to the House of Blues.
Yeah, so does McKagan.
Because I heard you were sent as an envoy to try to get Axl to come down.
Yeah, it didn't work. Well, let's talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductions that was just this week here too. Also, some of the people that were nominated that kind of got pushed to the wayside over all this big hoopla. One of the bands that was nominated was Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
Right.
As some people know, I've spent a lot of time around Joan Jett and and have helped them out and stuff. And
actually, Dougie Needles was kind of referred to him to them a little bit.
Well, I brought him down to the audition, yeah.
Right.
And but things kind of fell apart with me and her through the years.
It was after I squeezed her boobs at the Fizz or Peabody's.
I think we talked about this last time. She's a great person when she wants to be, but she can be what she can be.
Right.
Well, she was nominated for this last round, and I'm kind of glad she didn't get it.
Yeah,
really.
You can have some good songs and stuff like that, but you really got... Well, we were talking about this the other day. Is Chrissy Hynde in the Rock Hall yet?
The Pretenders.
Right, okay, but I even think she would definitely be a shoe-in before Joan Jett. Like, you compare both of them.
Why?
I don't think Joan even has credit when it comes to...
More hit singles?
Hit singles, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because I think that is what the Rock Hall is. I mean, you could say underground, blah, blah, blah. I can put Schnauzer in the Hall of Fame if I really wanted to.
Yeah.
But that's not the case, I mean, it is about singles, and it's about being out there. Beastie Boys, Red Hot Chili Peppers, those are bands that have huge #1 albums, have always kind of made an impact with everything they've done.
Consistent hits through the years.
Right.
Yeah.
And that License to Ill album, when I bought that when I was 12 years old, I never heard anything like that. That goes back to the Ramones or Elvis, or when you heard that
where
first
something changes,
groundbreaking band, you never heard anything like that.
Right. Yeah. No, granted, they've done the same thing for the last 30 years since that album.
Yeah.
And I'm Mike D. And like, quit talking about yourselves. 8 albums, and all you do is talk about yourselves. We know, Mike D. Shit.
But I think when it comes to Joan Jett, she just doesn't compare to people like the Beastie Boys or Guns N' Roses or the Ramones or these other bands that are in there.
And we're Cleveland. They're going to give us the big induction hall. Let her go get inducted in New York that she loves so much, And I got to say, Axl Rose definitely raised a lot of feathers. Yeah. And I just want to real quick, my point of view is, I think he's right. He is this is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Axl Rose is one of the biggest rock stars of all time. Being part of being a rock star, there is no rule that says you have to get along with people and not be an asshole. That, I think, should be part of being a rock star. I know I do it. I know you guys do it. You should be you shouldn't be afraid to be an asshole. And if Axl says, fuck you guys, did anyone expect Axl to be like, I'm so happy, thank you for the honor, this is going to be great? I mean, it's Axl Rose.
Aaron and I had these conversations back and forth. I'm like, he's not going to sit at a table and be cool with Slash and Steven Adler.
Right, exactly. So it's like, let him, and if that's how he's going to get his news, hey, after the whole popcorn fart that was Chinese democracy, he needs to get out there any way he can. He looks like the pro wrestler Raven now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The most disappointing rock star of my era is him.
Because he was in such a great band, but his input in that band is what killed it, though. Yeah. When you look at Appetite, his lyrics are great and stuff, but it's more about the sound of the band and everything like that. And he was writing about things that they were living. He might have been partying, but it was Steven and Izzy that were really the guys that were doing that stuff. Appetite for Destruction is the greatest drug album I think of all time when it comes to like anthems about drugs. That's Adler and Izzy more than anything.
Big time Izzy, yeah.
Axl was the pretty boy little, or not even the little pompous little bitch that sang, you know, did ballet dances and shit.
I mean, he was a great singer on that album, but no, it's. I mean, if you hear Chinese Democracy, it's ridiculous.
I like the first demos that came out 15 years ago. The songs were just like guitar and drums and sounded all right before they added all the other crap.
Here's my take on Chinese Democracy. The guy sings his ass off. I mean, that's some straight out fucking top notch singing. I mean, that's just great. But it's overshadowed by the production and the computer. It's not Nine Inch Nails and 1,000 guitar tracks. And
Christina Aguilera sings her ass off every album she does. I've never listened to a goddamn one.
That's true too. Yeah, you know, I mean, it's like Ted Nugent. He can play a great guitar, but that doesn't mean we want to hear it.
Right.
Axl has no spirit without the band. You know, he's just a manufactured product at that point.
Right,
you
because
know,
it is that rawness that was Steven. Because I really thought Izzy and Steven should get the awards, to be honest. I think they're so important to that band. But they did get, and Duff did his spoken word at House of Blues. I know you were there.
There was Green Day.
It was a big celebrity. I know Green Day's roaming around. Aaron Dowd, he calls me, of course, like 8 in the morning. I can't get a hold of this guy ever. He wakes me up like, dude, you're never going to believe this. I was in the bathroom and Billy Joe Armstrong was standing in the stall next to me and I cranked him off and I said, what a beautiful pecker you have. No, he was in the stall next to him and he told him not to pecker check him or something.
Yeah. But no, they were there just hanging out. You know what I thought was the nicest thing about that is you got these bands like Guns N' Roses who can't even like look at each other, but then Green Day standing around like, you know, how we would be.
Right.
You know, really, all three of them were just like us hanging out at a bar.
And you're talking, they've been doing it for 20 plus years now, you know, and there's sacrifices you have to do. You may not love everybody. The Ramones didn't love each other.
No.
But when they were on tour, they dealt with each other and they did what they needed to do.
You know.
You're not going to love each other in a band. You spend so much time with other people, and it is like having relationships with so many other people. It's going to be rough, but you got to suck it up.
It's like a divorce, a family. What if you have a child and you're in 20 years down the road, the girl gets married, and you got to come to the wedding with your ex-wife?
Right, exactly.
You know, I mean, it's, you know.
It's like, and that's how I feel like Dave Muzzlecock. You know, I hate being around him. I had to deal with his crap in the Nick Wolf band, and what do? Like, hey, come and do Tough in Cleveland with us, too.
I would like to say on the air right now, I'd like to make my offer. I would like to guest interview the Nick Wolf band when the time comes to do your show.
I've been thinking about that, because it's like, I have this show, and I promote other bands, but I'd be a jerk if I said too much more. I'm trying to find a way to, like, coolly promote my band once.
Well, you got an offer.
It's like, what's the point? Like, the one radio show, or the one show that's talking about local bands in Cleveland, I can't get any run off them because it's me. What did I do? I shoot myself in the foot everything I do.
Well, the offer's on the table.
Oh, we're going to do this. It's going to be a special CJ. And that was an evening with CJ.
Just an evening?
A fortnight with CJ.
It sounds so limited. Like, if it's past 7:30, we can't go.
12 months with CJ. I know you got these shows. Can you guys usually take a little bit of time off in the summertime? And
yeah, I'm taking a lot of time off after this, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no real reason why I'm not done. I'm not quitting. It's just that there's, you know, like, for me, certain things are just exhausted. You know, playing the same 3 punk bars over and over. No offense to the bands that have helped us out and done the shows.
But I know what you mean, too. I had to take 2 years from doing it. It's just like, because it's... After a while, you play in front of everyone you're going to play in front of. If you're not a band that's going to be like, oh, I got to get a tour going, blah, 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 and you're just like into playing, you do so much you can. You got to take a while off and just kind of...
You know, and I think this is a good way to go out with a CD release show. I know it makes asinine sense to release a CD and not do a bunch of shows.
Check out our CD and never see us again.
Well, it could build some anticipation.
Exactly.
You know?
But the Fullmoon Renegades think about that.
Do that all the time.
That's their standard.
Yeah.
You know, and like the whole thing with the CD is too, I didn't want to do like, I've been guilty in the past of trying to like, have a big release, the next Chinese Democracy.
Right.
Now, this is, you know, at this point in my career...
I'm still waiting for the remastered abusement part to come out.
It's not happening. You know, I play bars. I play corners of bars that my friends run. There's nothing glorious about that. So to set up a merch booth with a well-done layout of pictures and lyrics and discs with graphics for $10 a piece because I put $8 into it.
Right, it's like aluminum siding on a cardboard box.
Yeah.
You don't need to do it.
And I'm not going to say names, but there's nothing more embarrassing than a 45-year-old grown man in an empty bar room even though it was my flop of a show, an empty bar room and a grown man going, I got CDs for sale at the back of the bar. I've got T-shirts also at the merch booth. And there's his girlfriend sleeping, like, you know, and it's like, wow, the dream is over.
Real so no names, but I know he's talking about a Cleveland legend right there who...
Yeah, and I saw that, and I don't know why, there was no one in the place.
It hits home, it's like, what? And that's how a lot of what I based was seeing the wrong way people do stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, I never want to do that. I never want to make it. That's bad enough I'm playing in front of 5 people. I'm not going to make an ass out of myself on top of that.
Yeah, and sit behind some merch booth like you're meeting Gene
Right,
Simmons.
like, what do you think's going to happen? 100 people are going to flock in. Oh my God, he sold CDs? Ah!
Yeah.
I want your autograph.
Right. All right, Tustin Cleveland will be back in 1 minute here. We'll just take a quick break.
you son of a bitch!
All right, Tough Sinclair, we are back with CJ Gunn, Def Jeff here with us. Fullmoon Renegades are hanging out still.
Yep.
Cool, Def Jeff, watch your silverware, man. I can't keep an eye on him at all times. But,
all my silverware is plastic.
I don't know if I trust that name, Renegades.
Right, exactly. They're not gonna listen. We're not gonna sit on the couch. They're standing up.
We're gonna renegade.
Right. So CJ, last time you were on the show, we got into a lot of the history. And I guess now we're going to pick up a little bit here, and I want to really get into some of your relationship with Marky. We talked about it a little bit. Marky Ramone, Mark
right.
Bell. We talked about it a little bit last time, but now you guys, he's doing a lot of stuff, and last he was with Michael Graves. Last I heard,
I think he still is. I think he's an entrepreneur with pasta sauce.
Right, pasta sauce, really. Well, he was what was that movie he was in?
Oh, he was in some mafia movie. Yeah,
like the Brooklyn Boys.
Yeah,
he's like excellent pasta.
Yeah, I remember in the summertime when we played with CJ Ramone, and he's like, "So how's Mark been?" And I was like, "Well, you know, he's a big star now." And he just looked at me like I was from like the moon or something like that. And I was like, "Well, he's got his own pasta sauce. You know, how can you not be?"
Well, he's always been a pretty crazy eater, though.
A disgusting eater.
Right. Well, that's you say. When you guys were touring with him, a lot of times he would eat what was like the steak tartare or whatever, and you guys were like, how the hell can you eat that?
He eats gross things. But he's just gross when he eats. I don't know. The first time we took him to Old Country Buffet in Parma,
Right.
and he just started eating like a salad with ranch dressing. You know, nice green leaves and white dressing. And he's just, he's just. So CJ, when we get to the club, and
or his flight over his mouth, getting in his wig.
Yeah, it's just disgusting, and he's done in a heartbeat, but he doesn't realize that most of the food shot back out.
And he's always wearing the Ramones wig, right?
It's like Darth Vader.
Right, it is.
Yeah.
You only can take it off if you're getting him out of the Death Star.
Yeah. It's like that scene in Return of the Jedi where
remove my hair so I can look upon you with my own eyes.
Yeah. No, I never seen it, but I did see some kid pull on it once, and he punched the kid in the mouth.
Wow! All right.
We were in.
You don't tug on Superman's cape or Michael
you
Ramone's
don't,
hair.
Because the Superman will punch you. Yeah, no, we were leaving a show in Santiago, Chile, and there was like 30 kids packed from the door to the van, and they made, all the security made a nice path. Everybody else got into the van, but Mark had to stop and sign an autograph for some waitress, and by that time the security couldn't keep the kids back, and just as Mark was getting in the van, one of them yanked right on that thing. It didn't come off.
It's crazy. If you watch Ramones Raw documentary, you can see a lot of how those South American fans are.
Oh, yeah. Rabid.
So you guys got to go down there. You, Aaron, Dave,
and Mickey.
Mickey toured with you.
Joey's brother.
No, was he cool to deal with, at least as far as like that went?
We first met him in the airport in Atlanta, and he came off very, conversation. We had things in common, but by the end of the plane flight into Argentina, Buenos Aires, he was already telling us, and we didn't even sit with each other on the plane, that he sued his brother, and he did this, and it wasn't fair that they used Blitzkrieg Bop in the Budweiser commercial and didn't credit him.
So it's like when you meet that dude, he seems really cool, you're talking to him, and then in the conversation he reveals he's a date rapist. And you're like, oh, wait.
And I'm like, I didn't ask any of this, and he was just... No, he was a nightmare. He was one of the worst people I ever worked with in the business. He had no clue how to play half the songs. We got to the first rehearsal with him. And mind you, at this point, I already had 10.
So it was, now the band, well, who was all playing?
It was me on guitar, Aaron on bass, and then Marky Ramone on drums. And then Mickey would come out about 8, 9, 10 songs into the set.
Oh, because he's a big star.
Yeah,
right?
I would sing the first few songs, and then he would come out. And yeah, he was a big star and everything like that. And
what would you do when you sing? Like you do like the CJ, like the Strength to Endure and stuff like that?
No, Mark wanted nothing to do with those songs.
Okay.
Oh no, the songs I'd come out and sing would be, I think we opened with like Lobotomy,
right.
Chinese Rocks, we did Havana Affair, Shock Treatment.
So he was more into doing the classic songs as opposed to some of the 80s stuff.
Really nothing past the Road to Ruin 1978 album.
Okay.
He'll play all of the Tommy stuff, but no Richie, no CJ.
Right.
I think we did Pet Sematary with him. But no, Mickey would come out halfway, and every night was just problems. I mean, he couldn't play the songs right. I mean, the first rehearsal we did, if we were in the key of C, he was in the key of D. Well, my brother wrote this song.
Did Aaron just explode? How did the little Aaron deal with that?
It's actually me and him that got me and Mickey.
Well, because you had to play it. I guess you're no better than... I rip on Aaron a lot, but really, you're just as... If you're someone that's fucking up on stage... I wouldn't want to be around either of you, to be honest. So it's not really fair to put it on Aaron. But yeah, because when this guy's like just walks up like I'm a featured person, but when you guys have been playing in bands forever, and this guy wants to put himself on a pedestal, play the fucking songs right, asshole. Yeah,
it was just a nightmare. I mean, and his voice went like a few days after the rehearsal. His voice went, and he was just full of complaints. And then he left us on the tour. He flew back. He just. I don't know, he just couldn't take it. He hated it.
And that's why he never did anything. I mean, the guy wasn't meant to be out there.
No,
the guy should have had no reason to be doing that, so.
Yeah, and it was just hard with him.
So all that, you get done with Marky, and I guess Do you feel that maybe Marky kind of used you guys for what? Because I'm friends with all the guys that were in the band with Marky. It was you, Aaron, and Dave. I'm friends with all you guys. I know all you guys, and it was awesome when you guys have all worked very hard, and you made a lot of that stuff happen yourself.
Yeah, I made everything of that happen. You know,
and I remember like you making the calls and doing all that, and you guys got him. He wasn't really doing much at that time. You guys got him rolling again.
I met him 6 months out of the Ramones when he was doing the Intruders. I've got 1,000 stories about Intruder stuff, up and down, and that the Intruders did nothing good for him. I don't care what he says or anything like that. I mean, the Intruders just hurt him, and it hurt his chance of a solo career, because by the time we got together, Marky and I, he was so miserable playing in the Misfits.
Right.
I mean, he just hated playing in the Misfits. And I don't know much about Jerry Only. I've had nice conversations with him. He's invited me on stage to sing with his band. I got nothing bad to say about him, but he just gave Jerry Only a hard time. And, you know, Mark forgets that Jerry was like the only guy offering him a gig.
Right, and that's
one.
right, exactly. These guys get in the position where like something's good, and they all of a sudden have all these other options. Like, no, you don't, dude.
Yeah, you know. So Mark was miserable, and he kept telling me, you know, I hate doing this. I got to do something. You know, I got to do something. I don't want to go back to a day job hanging up wood at crack houses in the city. So one day on the phone, just both him and I were like, hey, why don't you come to town and play some Ramones songs? I'll find some people. Oh, yeah. So I booked him at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right.
And, you know, as some people might know, he's 2002 inductee.
Yes.
And that went great. 500 people, sold out.
Great show.
Like that. Oh, yeah, it was great. And it's
not for the vacancies. I think they lost an amp out of the whole
was the
thing.
second time. That was
okay,
the second
all
time.
right.
Yeah, no, this first time was just us as the band. And he was still with the Misfits. So, you know, I went and booked a show here at the Beachland Ballroom maybe for 6 months later. So I got an email from his booking agent. I'm Marky's official booking agent. Don't you be booking him. Stop this. No. I'll book the shows.
Do your damn job then.
So he books 14 shows out in California. Mark wants to find a tall bass player. Yeah, any of your friends tall that play bass? I want someone so tall it looks great.
As you're looking in the mirror.
Yeah, well, I'm doing guitar, so, you know, and I was like, oh, tall, you know. So I kept telling him, well, Aaron's not tall, but he's a great bass player. No, too short. That's ridiculous. So I fly all the way out to the West Coast to play with this guy, the bass player of Faster Pussycat, right? That has a lot in common.
Right.
And the guy supposedly knew all 35 songs in the set list. I get all the way to California just to find out that the guy knows 8 songs. I mean, he's like, yeah, I'll get it. I'll get it.
Right.
2 days later in California, Marky comes out for the rehearsals. He walks in a room like Elvis, sits down, you know, well, okay, let's play a song. The guy couldn't get through the first song. It was just terrible. So the first show on the tour was in Vegas with Steven Adler. And we were going to try to just get through the songs with this guy on bass. And Mark, he got a bug up his ass halfway to from L.A. to Vegas. And I'm not playing. I'm not playing with a drummer who had a stroke. What kind of drummer has a stroke and still plays? I mean, maybe he's a nice guy, and I'm sorry he had a stroke, but no drummer can play with a stroke. So we turned the van around and we flew home and canceled all 14 shows just because Mark had to have
Didn't
his
want to
vision.
play the strokey.
Yeah, a bass player. So we did the 2 shows in Cleveland. Well, there was 1 show in Cleveland and Detroit that I booked. So we came home, we did the Beachland Ballroom show. Aaron played bass, and 350 people filled the big room. It was great. But I wasn't allowed to book any more shows, so this guy booked a show at Peabody's 4 months later, and it flopped. So then we went to Mexico, and we did 3 shows in Mexico. That was packed, 200-300 people each night. We played the Hard Rock in Mexico
I got a
City.
funny story here. And you're riding on the bus or in the van with all of them, and the lady's like, yeah, all the Mexicans, and CJ just comes out being the Parma kid he is. Oh, where I'm from, we just call them all Puerto Ricans. It's much to the horror of Marky and his wife and everybody
Well, the woman asked me, she goes, "Do you have are there a lot of Mexicans where you live?" I says, "Yeah, but we call them Puerto Ricans." I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Why would you ask me?
The CJ Gunn culture tour across America.
And mind you, when I'm doing these kind of things, I'm in the back of the van. I'm minding my business. I got headphones on. It's like, if you leave me alone, I'll leave you alone.
Right.
Yeah, but we did those shows. They were good. We come back to America to do more shows in America. The first show is in Baltimore at a heavy metal bar that serves wings and sports games on their off days.
Right.
And Skid Row just played there the night before. And nothing against wings, sports games, Baltimore, or Skid Row. But none of that has anything in common with a punk show.
Right.
So we go there, and there's nothing. There's no advertising, no nothing. And Mark's pissed. That doesn't say my name. There's no write-ups. And he's right. There's nothing to bring the attention of the people. And the guy goes, I spent all my money on Skid Row last night.
Which has got to be the worst thing to hear when you're on tour.
Yeah. And so he's like, let me go take a look at the pre-sale, see how pre-sale's doing. He comes back, the guy goes, it ain't doing too good. We've only had 4 pre-sales in 3 months. We didn't even play. Mark was like, no way. And that was 80% of the U.S. shows with him were just bad.
Because it is, you really can't, it's hard to get people. You can't judge how it's going to go. You got to book as many, because you have a couple of dates that you're like, all right, this is going to be good, this is going to be good. But you have to put other stuff around that. And that's where you get into a real, boondoggle sometimes.
And this is like looking ahead now to 2012 and seeing that Marky's coming to the Ripper Owen Tap House, which is probably a great place, but it's not a punk bar. Again, It's a metal place.
And that's in Akron, right?
Yeah. It's just like back then, all the same mistakes being made. That's what was so frustrating about being in that band. Yeah, I was in a big band with my favorite drummer, my favorite band, and all my dreams came true. And
but it wasn't run any better than some of the things you've done yourself.
It was a disaster.
Right.
I mean, here's all these big, major fucking bands like Green Day, Rancid, Metallica, U2, covering Ramones songs. Kiss is covering Ramones songs. And we're going to Baltimore to play for 4 people.
Elliot standing there in trouble and shit, growing his dreadlocks.
Why weren't we opening dates for Green Day? Why weren't we opening Rancid dates when Lars Fredriksson is writing the liner notes?
Do you think that has anything to do with the way Marky's people, that maybe he has the wrong people? It doesn't seem like he has a strong enough people to do that kind of thing.
He gets these people, and they control him.
Do you think Johnny had anything to do with, once he was free, like kind of making it more difficult for him to get there?
No, he didn't. I know Mark at first. At first, Johnny didn't want like CJ and Mark using the Ramone last name. He wanted to always keep that within the Ramones.
Right.
Like when Joey would do solo shows in the '80s, he didn't like when Joey would use the name. But Mark pretty much said, "Hey, look, you broke the band up on me. I got to go make a living. This name is the only thing I have."
Yeah.
Just like when CJ went out those first few years, he had to be CJ Ward, formerly CJ Ramone.
Really?
Now he can be whatever he wants. But, Mark's, I won't say all bad things about Marky, because he's fought hard, legally, physically, mentally, to get what he's had. And I wish the best for him, and I'm glad he's out there still playing, and I believe he should be. But it's never gone right.
Right.
I mean, and for the fans' sake too. When you have a big box set out there, have Marky Ramone come to your town and sign autographs and play a show.
Right.
No, we did that one time.
Yeah, and that comes with these booking companies, though, is they just do the bare minimal,
They'll throw a CJ Ramone on a Peabody.
And they put it on you, well, you're the band, you should make there's promotions that go to doing these things. You can be dick fucking the assholes playing fucking 20 cities across America and do whatever, but if you want people, if you're a big band, you're a band that has that can use their name to bring people in, the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you have the right people behind you, publicizing the right way, and setting up those venues the right way.
Not when your management and your publicists think you're not drawing.
Right.
So
we'll wrap it up here, but you did play with, you kind of got to know CJ Ramone a little bit lately.
Oddly enough, yeah.
What do you think of him? Good guy, right?
I think it's kind of funny, because the day I blew off Marky finally for good was when he came to Musica in Akron this past October, and I didn't go, and I looked on the phone the next day and it said New York call, and I thought for sure it was Marky calling, "Hey, where are you? Why weren't you here?"
Right.
I was like, I don't want to listen to this call whatsoever. Holly goes, "You better listen to it. It might be important." So I listened to the call, and it's, "Hey, CJ, this is CJ Ramone. I need to talk to you. See what you got going on." That was the farthest thing I expected to hear on the other end.
He was named after you also, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Johnny thought that was a good idea. And so we spoke. He wanted me and Jerry to play with him.
Jerry, the drummer for The Exceptions.
And Dead Enders.
And Dead Enders, yes.
And because CJ had seen the Dead Enders out in Sandusky when we opened for him in last August, and he wanted Jerry and I to come out, start rehearsing, do some shows, and do a record with him. Well, the difference was with Marky. Marky came out here and did everything. CJ's got a family, 3 kids. He needs a band there.
Right, he can't. Right, exactly. He can't just be driving out. It's a little bit different in Marky's shoes than it is CJ's shoes.
And Mark's shoes were already used to walking that walk. Get on a plane and go.
That was his life. Yeah, exactly. For 30 years, right?
Yeah, exactly. CJ's been out of the game in raising a family, and I think he's doing a real good at raising his family. And he does a lot of things like the Walk for Autism, and he's a very involved family guy. And so it was just hard for me and Jerry to travel there in a car around our work schedules.
You and Jerry in a car. I'd make a movie about that.
You know, we've been there before.
Right.
It's funny. So I passed for now. You know.
So you did, hung out with all the rock stars and stuff like that. But you got your own thing going on. May 5th is the birthday show.
Yep. Yeah.
And then you got anything? What's your other show you got set up?
May 4th in Kent.
Oh, so okay, May 4th and 5th.
Yeah, tour.
Cool.
Yeah, new little mini tour. Right.
Currently residing in the Where Are They Now files.
Exactly. Well, all right, we're going to be back in 1 minute. CJ, thanks. Always great talking to you as usual.
Great being here.
We're going to be back in a minute. We're going to wrap it up here with everybody. CJ, Fullmoon Renegades, Def Jeff, the ghost of Dave Muzzlecock, Tufts in Cleveland. We'll be back. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Nick Wolf. A lot of people ask me, Nick, how do you keep up this busy, grueling schedule of putting on top-notch entertainment for all of us? That's simple. I use crystal meth, the award-winning drug that keeps my personality sparkling and my mind focused. I can go days on end without any sleep. Have you ever seen the show Breaking Bad? That show's hilarious. Your life can be just like that if you smoke crystal meth. And who has time for those annoying bowel movements? With crystal meth, I haven't had a bowel movement in over a month. And I love it. I'm Nick Wolf, and now back to our regularly scheduled programming. All right, Tufts in Cleveland, we are back. We're going to wrap it up. We're bringing it home. We've had a great show.
Yes.
Great discussions with the Fullmoon Renegades and CJ Gunn. Guys, one of our things I want to do when we end here, we've had a lot of talk today about Neil Diamond, Robin Gibb, Marky Ramone, Axl Rose, everybody. The kind of theme of the show today, I guess, has kind of been aging rock stars, I guess, in a way. At least in some. CJ Gunn.
For a minute there, I thought I missed the news Neil Diamond died.
Oh, and well, Neil Diamond got married, actually.
Again?
Yeah, again. So he doesn't stop. Well, women love Neil Diamond. He's probably like, I mean, if a woman's between 40 and 80, they'll just spread for him instantly. Just song.
And then
they're just squirting.
Tom Jones gets the leftovers.
Yeah, right. He gets the dirty underwear. But I want to ask you guys, and we'll go all around. Def Jeff, you can be included in this too.
Right.
One aging rock star that you think is still awesome and it's still like great. You can watch him anytime. And then one aging rock star who do you want to see die? Who you just wish should be done? Elliot, let's start with you.
I'd have to go for an aging rock star. Would definitely be probably Mike Patton. Just everything that guy's done, I've always been a big fan of. And
he's definitely versatile with all the different bands he's done too.
He's like the Johnny Depp of singing.
Yeah,
He really is. Wow.
I think Angel Dust is such an underrated at Faith No More follow-up to that album.
Definitely. And then Dead would... God, I cannot wait for the fucking day that Axl Rose dies. But that also means I'm going to have to hear Guns N' Roses every single day for
It's a mixed bag.
Yeah. So, I hope he dies, but in a way I kind of hope he doesn't.
Well, his career's dead, so he's halfway there.
Yeah.
All right, let him stay in purgatory where he is.
Let me go next. All right, Tony Iommi.
Tony Iommi from
I hope
Sabbath.
he stays alive. I mean, that guy's fucking unoriginal, you know. And who should die? Eddie Vedder.
Eddie Vedder, right? Really?
I'm so sick of Eddie Vedder.
Now, do you think now, or do you think that in the 90s?
No, I actually liked Pearl Jam back, when 10 came out, and there was good songs in that, but it's just kicking a dead horse.
Yeah.
Just go away.
Def Jeff is done with. I was gonna say someone from Dream Theater, maybe.
No.
CJ.
I think one aging rock star that I wish would die, but I'm kind of fearing the day he dies for the same Guns N' Roses principle you have, is Bono, U2.
Oh my God.
God.
They're gonna have like
Oh,
a
my
parades in
Lord.
every city when he
And I'm going to
dies.
rain on every parade they have for him.
Right.
And one, I have to say, the one I think the most of would probably be like Slash or somebody like that. I don't know. Someone who stays consistent and still performs for his fans, unlike an Axl Rose who just hides. You know, someone who's still out there making music.
Every night, every week.
Yeah.
Somebody that's on every single thing you
Every
see.
commercial, every... and not to forget...
Well, he can't die. Right, he can't die. He's he's immortal. Your parents made him up in the first place.
Yeah.
Doombuggy.
I'll go with the typical one here. The Nuge probably needs to get taken out.
Thank you. All right.
I mean,
Good call.
like, he's been a joke from day one.
Yeah.
I don't know. Most of my influences are already dead.
Right.
I know, it's true, so...
Nobody. No, I can't really say.
You're not into any of the old guys still rolling out doing their thing?
Not too many of them.
No, I'd say Alice Cooper.
Yeah, that was a good one.
He's still. I know he did a show here recently for like $15, and his shows are usually cheap and stuff like that. He hasn't sold out. You know, he doesn't really get in that huge spotlight, but he still maintains his status.
Right, he's always there.
And regardless of his political or religious beliefs, he leaves it out of his music, and he makes it abundantly clear that it is his alter ego and that it is, not Vincent Furnier.
Right.
That they're
He's like the
two
model.
And
totally different people.
he's still making great
Exactly.
albums.
Right.
Yeah, he's
always been Alice Cooper. Never really tried to change any outside
and
of that.
Imagine if he did like a rap album.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey,
Well, he's done like he's done punk, he's done country, like show tunes and stuff. Just he does everything. So it's like he has like 30 albums or something too. Like nobody's even like heard of him. That's the other thing. Like some of like my favorite album by him is like Flush the Fashion.
Oh
like,
yeah, Zipper Catches Skin.
What's that?
How about
yeah,
Zipper Catches Skin? Yeah.
Or Special Forces.
Yeah,
Like
Donna.
albums that nobody. You talk to anyone,
Yeah.
nobody knows what the hell it is. But one that I'd like to die would be Lars Ulrich.
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah,
I think he's like Sharon Osbourne, but for Metallica, he's just ruining it.
he really is.
Yeah.
And music.
And he
dude,
sucks. He's not really that good anyways.
Other guys are terrified of him too in other bands. He's like the mafia for music. Mine, I'd have to say this could be. Although I hate the band he's in, and have always hated him, I gotta say Little Steven from Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. I gotta even say Bruce, even though I'm not a big fan, the guy still, after all these years, shows up in his city, and it's the biggest thing going on in the city that week. And I guess as far as Little Steven goes, this guy was with this band forever and can rest on his laurels for just being the guitarist of the E Street Band. He never tried to be bigger than the E Street Band or bigger than Bruce. He knew that Bruce was the man. And
But he threatened to take Bruce out on The Sopranos.
well, that's true. Yeah, right. But he's gone on and developed himself as a TV guy
Radio
and now
shows.
he's doing the Netflix. The first Netflix original show, Lilyhammer, is his. Like he's in it and stuff.
Nice.
He's also like with he did what was it, like Hunger, like the big concert for like in the Live Aid or whatever. Not the Bob Geldof one, but the other one.
Farm Aid? No.
That was Mellencamp. I'm not sure, but he's done a lot of stuff for charity, and it's just his little Stevens rock show garage rock show brings music to people that never heard it before. I really think that guy is really a tops.
Yeah.
As far as dead, there's so many I wish would die.
Exactly.
I wish the rest of the members of Leonard Skinner would die, just to clear it out. Let's just get rid of them already. Enough.
Yeah, how did that happen? They're still going strong.
Like you can't even eat ribs in this country without worrying that you're gonna have to hear fucking Freebird.
God.
So that's what I would say. So guys, anything you guys want to say before we get out of here? No, yeah, we're out there. Everyone's about to fall asleep here. Fullmoon Renegades, Mr. CJ Gunn and The Exceptions, Def Chef. I am Nick Wolf. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We will see you next week. Tough scene, Cleveland.
Darkest fear
Subscribe to Tough Scene Cleveland on YouTube. Like Tough Scene Cleveland on Facebook.